Championship. First things first, though, they have to draw for their grid position. And no, that's not a shrunken Ian Sturt, that is his younger son, Harry, who's doing the honours. Now, the drivers draw their positions. That will determine also which races they go in. Rob Fountain lies second in the championship. It's very close between him and the current leader. And, of course, the 1999 world champion, Tick Stewart. Blue for him, so they're all in different groups.
I know you won't mind me saying this, but you look more nervous than I've ever seen you before. And you've already won 2 of these championships.
Yeah, I know, but I've had a bad year, to be honest, and to fight back where I am now, I'm really happy to come here in the lead, but 15's not that many, really, to be honest. I mean, I'm a little bit better off because Ian is in the first, second and third race, so when I come to my 4th race, I know what he's got to do. Robin's in first race, no, he's in, second race, third race and 4th race. I'm in first race, third race and 4th race. So whatever I get in this one, he's got to match me now for the next one, see, then it's pressure's on a little bit for him there. But I'm not bothered, I mean, they're all chasing what I've had.
This year I wanted to come in like the top 5 or the top 3, and being here, you know, it's just an incredible feeling. You know, I feel really pleased that I can achieve it, but I couldn't have done it without my team. At the end of the day, there's no I in team, and like, I'm only a small part. If anyone's to thank, it's the team, in fairness.
But at the end of the day, the pressure comes down to you. You're the guy out there who's got to deliver the goods.
I think so.
We've had every single nut and bolt off the car. We've double-checked it, double-checked it, and double-checked it again. But as much as you can do.
I just want to have 3 good races, 3 good finishes and come away with a big trophy, to be honest. I mean, I've got a lot to do because really what I've got to do is finish behind Ian in every position. Like, if he won every race and I was second every race, then I'd beat him by like 15 and he'd beat Rob, you know, and that'd be good for the Old Spice. I mean, Old Spice have been so good to me this year. I mean, they've really backed me this year, last year, the big accident. Never had no complaints, you know. They phoned up, wished me luck. I mean, I couldn't get a better sponsor, to be honest.
Sturty's going to be in the first 3 races. You're going to be in the last 3, I think, from the draw. Does that an advantage to you, being in the very last race of the 4?
No, not really, because at the end of the day, it's the pick of the balls, you know. Like you're saying, Sturty, you know, I give him and my brother and someone like Darren Hill's like the most respect out there. He's a great guy. You know, we just got to run with each other and let's just get going.
Any nerves?
Just a bit now. They're starting to get to me now, but once the light goes green, we'll be all right.
You're going to be in the first 3 today. You've just done the draw now. Is that a concern for you? You're going to have to watch the last race of the day?
No, it's not a concern. It's you know, anything can happen, as you know, in racing. But I'd like to have done the last race so we could do donuts afterwards. But what will be, won't it?
When you set out at the start of the year, what were your hopes and dreams for the year?
Well, my main ambition was to try and finish in the top 3 in the championship and to win a race at Brands Hatch. We succeeded with both of those so far, so anything more for us now is a bonus.
I don't believe you. I think you want the win of the championship.
Now I want the win of the championship, yeah.
We come here to win it, and that's what I told them. I'd come here to do it this year. I didn't think this year I would have done it and been at the top of the last round, to be honest. You know, there's a lot of whippersnappers in here and a lot of quick guys, and they all thought I was just a lucky break and a lucky go, you know, but I've done it twice and I'm determined to do it the 3rd time.
Whatever's going to happen is going to happen, so that's fair dues, really.
Are you going to win it?
Yeah, I ain't coming here for second. I'm going to do it.
Al, you're just putting the last finishing touches to the car, but how's the driver been this week?
Really nervous, uptight. Trying to treat it as an ordinary meeting, but you can feel the atmosphere is a little bit different. And really, the season doesn't count for anything because the 3 of the top men are all here today, and you might as well start from afresh. So we're all trying to be cool, but inside we're quite anxious. What the word is, but yeah, be good, be good.
What have you been doing this week in the build-up?
Well, just trying to act as normal, really, but we're not. We're all, like I say, we're all turmoil inside, but just got to appear calm and get on with it.
The team's been working really hard the last 2 weeks. It's like, you know, let's go for it, you know, but the team is like really chilled out, you know. Robin isn't stressed, and, you know, the pressure's on one person, and that's all there is to it, really.
Can you be a factor in Rob winning the championship, do you think?
Yeah, I could help, really. I mean, just help on his car, keep it reliable and everything, and, you know, just fingers crossed that everything's going to go okay.
And fingers crossed that they can find their friends out on the track. That will be very key in the 2 races we'll have for you today. Tick has a 15-point advantage, as you know, over Rob, and Ian just 70 points back. And also to be settled here this weekend, the battle for the rookie honours between Stephen Traherne and Robin Drysdale.
Robin, we come here to the final round. The rookie title is up for grabs between you and Stephen Traherne, 105 points. How does that sound?
Far too much. Hopefully we can draw that down a wee bit today.
I'd rather be ahead than behind, because it means I can consolidate my points and just try and drive a safe meeting rather than having to go for it, which is what he's going to have to do.
He's a good driver. He's very quick, very aggressive. Needs to use his brakes now and again. I think he would get a wee bit more respect on the track if he used his brakes. But no, he's a good young lad. I think he'll go far.
It was my first year in circuit racing, first year in rear-wheel drive, in Legends, and anything like that. I thought, if I can just finish somewhere half decent in the championship, then I'll be doing all right. And when I saw Lee Fitzpatrick and Chris Cook and Robin, I thought, it's going to be ever so hard this year. So, no, it wasn't like an absolute must to win it, but I certainly want to win it now.
John, you're confirmed as 4th in the championship with 4 races to go. You're probably best placed to give us an assessment on the top 3, Ian Sturt, Tick Stewart and Rob Fountain. Who do you think is going to win the championship and why?
I think Tick will win the championship myself. He's had a lot of bad luck at the beginning of the season, but he's coming on strong now. And he's in front. He'll nip a couple of wins today. And I think the other 2 might just crack under pressure.
The 3 great guys, and to be quite honest, I think it's going to be the luck of draw, who gets to the break. In all fairness, I'd like to see all 3 winning because they've all battled hard all year and have made it very competitive and made very good viewing. So best of luck to all of them and may the best man win.
Peter Morton sitting on the fence there. We'll have to talk to him again next week, I think, to find out what he really thinks. But here we are, down to the final 4 races. There in 10 is Robin Drysdale, one of the 2 rookie contenders. Remind you as well that Rob Fountain doesn't go in this one, but away they go. We get the green lights. We're on board here with Ian Sturt as we hammer across the start-finish line, going past Mark Lord, who is in the 55 car this weekend, and side by side with Stephen Traherne, Ian Kirk and Tick Stewart with the number 1 on the side of the door there in the Old Spice original car, makes the break and he goes round the outside. Look to for John Higgins. There he is in number 60, just tucked in behind Lee Fitzpatrick in the 24 car, and the 2 Mickle Motorsport cars running one behind the other. John Mickle has found himself through into 3rd place. He's in the number 4 car, but what a great start by Tick Stewart. Exactly what he wanted. He will be keeping a very close and watchful eye on his mirrors to see where Ian Sturt is. This is the onboard view behind Ian Sturt from Stephen Traherne's car. He said to me this morning he was going to actually not drive as aggressively, as there was a big moment there for Peter Morton ahead, and there is Morton in the Firth Steels car. Side by side we'll go into Gerard's, and on the inside Robin Drysdale holds the line. I have to say, looking from Ian Sturt's car there, he's boxed in a little bit on the inside. He needs to find a way out of that, but there is Rob's twin brother in 52, that's Chris Fountain, and Chris will be looking to take as many points away as he possibly can from Ian Sturt. You can be sure about that. Good drive this from the number 40 car of Ian Kirk, who locks the wheel. Old Kirky, who's he's been involved in some incidents this year. Let's hope he can keep himself out of harm's way. They've normally not been of his making, it has to be said. They've normally been foisted upon him, but look at the lead already. With just a couple of laps completed that Tick Stewart has over John Mickle, who goes 2nd, and Simon Durrell's on the charge as well in 96, and side by side with him goes Chris Fountain. John Higgins looking to hold on to that, 5th position, and Ian Sturt, well, he's managed to get ahead of Nigel Kelsey. That's no mean task in itself, as Kelsey runs a little bit wide there, coming out of the long sweeping right-hander that is Gerard. They take that. Well, the brave ones take it flat in 5th gear, using every rev that they have of the 10,500 available to them. As also running a little bit wide there is Chris Fountain. So they'll come off turn 4, complete another lap. And Ian Sturt, remember, was lying 3rd in the championship, just 85 points back from Tick Stewart, who's the race leader at the moment. And Stewart has said that he will attempt to go for 3 wins here this weekend. Well, it's all brave stuff. Rob Fountain watching on from the top of his transporter to see what his brother there in 52, Chris, can do. Around the outside of Lee Fitzpatrick they go. 3 arrests for, 4th place? I'll tell you what, never a dull moment, is it? Sweeping back and forth is Ian Sturt, and he's now got to keep his wits about him. On the outside of Chris Fountain, Chris gives him the room outside. Chris Cook is lined up in the back of that as well. He was one of the rookie contenders. But here we go, and a bit of a squirrely moment there for Chris Fountain on the inside. Tucked in behind Lee Fitzpatrick, is having a great run in this one, keeping up with the leading guys in his rookie season, but Tick Stewart goes through there. John Mickle is in 2nd place, with Simon Durrell now a clear 3rd. Lee Fitzpatrick holds 4th, with Chris Fountain behind in 5th, and then a side-by-side battle for 6th as Ian Kirk I think he just caught a glimpse on the inside of him, one of the other cars. But back to that rookie challenge. At the moment, Robin Drysdale is just one place ahead of Stephen Traherne, and that might not be enough for Robin. Remember, 105 points separated those two coming into this final batch of 4 races here on the Mile Oval at Mallory Park in Leicestershire. And Robin really needs to try and put a few positions between himself and Steve Traherne. Steve Traherne, the youngster, the 17-year-old, driving with his head, it would seem. That's what he said he was going to do. And yes, you're right. I was a bit surprised by that, but he's doing what he said he would do. Now, back with the leading pack. There on the outside is Ian Sturt. He's trying desperately to get around Chris Fountain. Chris is holding his line and making Ian work very, very hard for that position indeed. Remember, between 4th and 16th place, there are various points up for grabs, starting at 140 and dropping down in 10-point multiples as they flash through into turn 3. Durrell there, if he was looking in his rearview mirror, would see this great scrap going on. And Simon Durrell up ahead is challenging John Mickle for second place. Meanwhile, Ian Sturt gets the inside line this time. Tick Stewart is gone. 200 points in the bag for him, barring any mechanical failures. There's a back marker in front of him, Ken Finneran. In the 22 guys had some difficulties with setup that, but Ken in his first outing not running under a team. He ran with one of the other teams back at Brands Hatch earlier in the year and has had some struggles getting the setup right. Tick Stewart leads then. There's the battle for second place. Durrell on the right-hand side as we look on in the yellow 96. On the inside, it's John Mickle. Chris Fountain holds 4th. There is Ian Sturt, side by side this time with Lee Fitzpatrick. Getting into the final couple of laps now. Tick Stewart continues to extend his lead. He's now really balled down on the yellow back marker car there of Ken Finneran. And, well, very strange to go a lap down in Legends, but Ken did have a spin earlier on as well. Look at this great stuff. Simon Durrell takes the outside line round John Mickle. Mickle and Durrell are settled really in their positions as far as the championship's concerned. Simon looks convinced that he will finish in 7th place. He could get ahead of Chris Fountain, but it would mean Chris not finishing one of his races. So, nearly a touch there down the backstretch. 120 mile an hour. Tick Stewart looks good for this though. He's got past the back marker. He'll come out of turn 4 this time. Tick Stewart way out. Oh, there's contact in the final corner, and Ian Sturt's front left corner has gone. Contact with Chris Fountain. Will he get it across the line? Yes, he will. He struggles across the line. Well, Simon Durrell, the problem there. After the start-finish line, the flag has gone. Well, Chris Fountain's car there just completely snapped to the left, and I think that might be as a result of the contact between himself and Ian Sturt coming out of the final corner. Simon Durrell shakes his head and holds his hands up. My, oh my. Is that then going to be a problem for Ian Sturt? He's got a lot of work to do on rebuilding that car, but there is Tick Stewart. 200 points added to his total, and let's get confirmation of the race 1 results. There is Tick confirmed at the top ahead of John Mickle, Simon Durrell. Chris Fountain takes 4th with John Higgins in 5th and Lee Fitzpatrick a superb 6th, but Ian Sturt back in 7th.
Basically, I went into the last corner. I'm not quite sure who it was. I got a tap in the back wheel, and the car felt like it got a buckled wheel or a flat tyre. So I thought, OK, I'll carry on, get past the start and finish line. And as I went past the start and finish line, the car just veered to the left because an aluminium arm controls the back axle. That snapped, which took me for a ride, and I ended up in the arm cove.
I went underneath Chris. Touched his back wheel, he touched my front wheel, my suspension collapsed, and I dragged my car across the line. And then I don't know what happened to those two, but they ended off. Him and Simon Durrell went off after the race had finished. So whether it broke something on Chris's car at the same time, I don't know.
I was just waving to the crowd, having enjoyed the race, and so I thought, yeah, great, we finished the race, 3rd place, good fight with John. I thought, yeah, fine. And suddenly, I'm like started to spin out, and so I went across, had a chat with Fountain and Sturty, and they explained what happened. So fair enough, and there's no damage to the car apart from the wings. So we're just, usual checks, put some fuel in it. I think we might need a bit of tank tape to put the wings back together, but we'll have it ready and have another good race, hopefully.
Second place, we're just keeping the points in. We can't do nothing today, we're just out there for a bit of fun, getting in the thick of the action and, making it interesting for you lot.
That's a dream start for you, isn't it?
Only one, though. 2 more to go. Ian started at the back, didn't he? Fairway back, and he got a 7th, so in realistic term, I've got to match that 7th from when I started at the back, but he's still got to match my win, so, I mean, it's early days.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's all happening, isn't it? In Old Spice Legends, 1 of the 4 races over and done with, and carnage everywhere. We're going to leave them to sort out their various problems. Will they get the cars back together? Well, you'll have to join us after the break to find out, won't you? See you in a mo. We've been away, there's been some remarkable work going on in the garages. As you can see, Chris Fountain and his brother Rob have put the 52 car back, and so too at Avondale Racing. Ian Sturt and the boys here, ugly looking mob, aren't they? But they'll get over it. They've done a great job, and the 54 car is back in position. But of course, over there, the man of the moment, perhaps. Rob Fountain is out in this one. Tick Stewart sits it out. So we ride on board with Ian Sturt towards the lights. This is the second race of 4. You can see the red lights up ahead on the gantry. And green they go, and away we go. Robin Drysdale gets a good start from the front row. He needs points, of course, because he's chasing the rookie title, as well as Ian Sturt, Rob Fountain and Tick Stewart fighting it out for honours in this one. All three need the points desperately. Chris Fountain side by side there with his brother Rob, right behind Stephen Traherne, gives him a tap. Oh dear, and Traherne got a little bit squirrely there. I think he backed off, to be fair, as a result of the contact from behind, but Rob is really going for it. He wants to fight his way through. So too going well in the yellow car. Down the inside again is Simon Durrell, who's rebuilt the wing. So superb job by all the crews. They've literally had about an hour and a half to put those cars back together, and everyone who was involved in that incident is back out. That superb stuff. But across the line to complete the first lap of 8, and Robin Drysdale leads. Chris Fountain second, Durrell up to third. Peter Morton is there in 4th place, and here comes Ian Sturt in the 54. The original car side by side out front, and a great scrap going on between this lot. Oh, hold your breath, because this could end in absolute carnage. Coming out of turn 2, Fountain leads. Durrell side by side with Drysdale, and Ian Sturt has to really take a big breath and stick that car where perhaps he wouldn't want to ordinarily. Tick Stewart, to remind you, not going in this one. He'll do the final 2 races. Ian Sturt bounds. Oh, a big sideways moment for Chris Fountain. Well, remember, he broke an aluminium arm that holds the axle together, and that's lost him precious time coming out of turn 4, and Ian Sturt absolutely fires on through. So Sturt will now lead. He needed to match, or rather needs to match, the performance set by Tick in the first race. So too does Rob Fountain there in 51. All down to the final couple of races. I'll guarantee you this will go down to the last race, this championship. We've had over 60 races that make up the Old Spice Legends in the year 2000, and I'll tell you now, it's going to go down to the final one. 2 races to go after this one. Who's going to take the honours? Ian Sturt goes side by side. Simon Durrell goes down the inside. Durrell, who seems to be, you have to say actually, if the season started halfway through, if they only scored points for the second half of the season, Simon Durrell will be there or thereabouts. Didn't have the best starts of the year, but here's Rob Fountain. Came into the championship hoping to be in a position to challenge for a top 3 place. So too did Ian Sturt. They're both there fighting it out for the battle and the top spot on the championship podium. Fountain to the inside, gets a little bit of sideways motion as he comes off Gerard. Down the backstretch they'll go. Durrell, Fountain, and in the middle of them, Ian Sturt. Peter Morton having a great run as well in the 32 car there. Out on the outside, going side by side with Chris Fountain, who's led his brother through. Down they go. Saw Chris motion Rob through, and they went into Gerard's on the second lap. The big sideways moment there for Simon Durrell, and that lets Ian Sturt back through. Or does it? Right on the wheel. Oh, and a little tap there from, he's picked him up, look, carrying him through into the corner, and the momentum that the 2 cars have certainly helped Ian Sturt there. I'm not sure that's what Rob Fountain intended, but he got right on the rear bumper of Ian Sturt's car, and Sturty just floored it and kept on going. They'll come out side by side. Brilliant stuff from the legends. Out of turn 3, down the backstretch, the long run to turn, as I said, out of turn 3 there, didn't I? I meant turn 2, of course, down to turn 3. We're right on board here with Stephen Traherne, and ahead of us, Chris Fountain gets sideways. Well held by Chris there. He could have put that well and truly sideways, but he managed to hang on to it, and Traherne is in good shape here. As Robin Drysdale, you can see, has dropped back there to 7th position at the moment, and well, they'll have another race, the 2 rookies fighting it out for honours there, but at the moment you have to say give the advantage to Stephen Traherne further back there in the 38 car. But meanwhile, Simon Durrell's found himself on the outside. He's going to lose another place. Is he the leader there? The yellow car was the leader. He's dropped back to second. He's hanging on there on the outside, and Ian Sturt gets a bit of breathing space. Oh, contact there. Was that Durrell? Durrell and Fountain. Oh, and Stephen Traherne slams into the back of Pete Morton. Well, he backed off, but he wasn't quick enough. And to be fair, the reaction times here are absolutely astonishing. Red light on the dashboard there, reminding Stephen to change gear so he doesn't detonate the engine. They're Yamaha 1200cc engines, they all run, all identical engines. They're allowed a few tweaks, but not too many, and the scrutineer, Philip Mosley, takes a very dim view of anyone who wants to tamper about under the bonnet there. Checks things on a very regular basis. Down the backstretch they come. Sturt leads in 54, side-by-side battle. Great stuff this between Rob Fountain there and there's two cars. Surely they can't race that close without contact, but they do. And Simon Durrell goes right round the outside of him. Great battle there for second place, but meanwhile the back markers come through. The Gary Fitzpatrick there, Lee's son, but here comes Ian Sturt on his final lap. But who's going to get this second place? Rob Fountain really does need the points. He gets 155 points if he finishes third, but he'll get 175 if he finishes in second place. So he really does desperately need to try and get ahead of Simon Durrell. Meantime, there is Peter Morton, who's having what has to be his best weekend of the year so far, lying back there in fifth place. He's managed to sort out the engine dramas he had at the beginning of the year and certainly feels a lot more confident, but at 200 points look as though they're going to go the way of Ian Sturt. But there is Chris Fountain who gets sideways, and Pete Morton might come through, but Ian Sturt will take the 200. He takes the victory, and that is great news for his championship aspirations. A win for Ian Sturt, but who will get second place? And Durrell gets it on the line. Separate them by merest hundredths of a second, and there's confirmation of the second race here at Mallory. Sturt with a victory ahead of Simon Durrell, Rob Fountain. Chris Fountain takes fourth ahead of Pete Morton. Stephen Traherne is sixth.
It's good races. I thought I could keep second, but Simon's good round the corner. No fair to him, he got round me fair and square. So 2 races left. I'm happy with the third. Lisa McCarthy in one piece, not like my brothers, but I'm looking forward to the next 2 now. Now I've got the first one over and done with. It's like, let's go for it, chaps.
Car's going great. Setup's good for me as well, so I can really carry the speed around the corners and take it down the straight. So it's a good, hard battle out there. And yeah, I'm glad to be here and all 4 wheels still on the track.
I should imagine you're quite pleased with that, Mr. Sturt.
Yeah, that was for the team. All the boys back at Old Spice put the car back together, and well, that was it, wasn't it? The car's like fantastic again.
Were you aware of what was going on behind?
To be honest with you, I wasn't really looking in the mirrors. All I was doing was trying to concentrate and going for the win, really, because to try and win the championship, we've got to get as many points as possible. So, you know, I just sort of didn't look in the mirrors and just looked forward, really.
Well, he now leads the championship, but of course he's done 1 race more than Tick and Rob, but a 25-point advantage for Ian Sturt over Tick Stewart, and 60 points further back is Rob Fountain. I tell you what, it's all going to go to the final 2 races.
So the top 3 must now do their calculations. Tick Stewart, of course, sat that one out, but he'll be back for the final 2 races of the 2000 season. And to find out who will take the 2000 championship title, you'll have to join.
Available and accessible by pressing the 0 button on the handset.
I'm not worried about second, I'm not worried about third. I'll just come here to win, and if I have to do, like you say, the last roll of the dice, that'll be the last roll of the dice. If it's got to be a do or die like I did in America, that's what I have to do, and I'm determined to come away with a big trophy. I ain't come here for no little one.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a bit nervous and I want a bit of pressure on, and there is a bit, but I'm just going to try to cope with it as best I can, you know. I'm only human, so give it my best shot.
All 3 of us are guaranteed a minimum third place, so you know, hopefully we can go out and enjoy it. You know, one of us is going to win, one of us is going to come second, one of us is going to come third. Hopefully we'll be first.
The draw for this, the final round, saw Ian, Rob and Tick all pitched into 3 separate groups. Ian took part in both of the first 2 races of the 4 that make up each round, but he could only manage 7th, having got boxed in while others around him fought for valuable points. Into the final corner, contact with Chris Fountain left him to struggle across the line with 3 wheels on his wagon. And Chris, Rob's twin brother, didn't escape incident either as they crossed the finish line. Chris Fountain and Simon Durrell sent into a spin. Sturty, meanwhile, went on to win his second race and took 200 points. Both Rob and Tick sat out one of the first 2 races. Tick started from the front row in race 1 and in usual determined style went into the lead at the first corner. 4 laps later and he built himself a commanding advantage over a duelling duo of John Mickle and Simon Durrell. But Tick doesn't surrender that kind of a lead and he bagged the 200 points for the victory. Rob now knew that he had to get a solid result from his first race. Starting from the middle of the pack, he set about his task. Rookie contender Stephen Traherne got loose ahead, gifting Rob the opportunity to go the long way round into 8th. Towards the end of lap 2, he was through to 5th, while up ahead, brother Chris was getting seriously sideways. Simon Durrell did the same 2 laps later, leaving Rob now up to 3rd to close right in on his rival Sturt. Despite millimetre close racing with Durrell, where for 2 laps they jousted side by side, Rob couldn't get through. And that meant 3rd place, 155 points, but worse than that, a further deficit of 45 points on Tick Stewart. So let's get confirmation of the point standings with just 2 races remaining in the 2000 season. Ian Sturt, while he heads the table, has done 1 race more than both Tick Stewart and Rob Fountain. They are 2nd and 3rd respectively.
So it all comes down to this, the final 2 races of the 2000 championship year. At the moment, Ian Sturt has the advantage, but he'll sit out the 2nd race. So it's all going to be down to Sturty, Rob Fountain and Tick Stewart. Who'll take the victory? Who will take the title? We'll know in about 30 minutes.
Tick will win it no matter what. The only thing that will stop him winning it would be mechanical failure.
It'd be nice to have someone different, but Tick's definitely in with a good chance. He's up the front, but in motorsport anything can happen.
I'd like to see Ian do it, because I think he's worked extremely hard. He's had a lot of luck compared to last year, where he were changing engines in and out. His luck's changed, and let's hope that, you know, he can pull it off. He will be a worthy champion.
So that's what they think. Meanwhile, 17-year-old Stephen Traherne can clinch the rookie title if he finishes higher than 10th. So what's it going to take?
I'm going to have to drive a bit with my head today, I think. So, I know, it sounds out of character, doesn't it? But hopefully I'll drive with my head and just try and pick up just enough points to do it.
Well, Stephen Traherne starts from the outside as the lights go green. In fact, they don't, they stay red. And everybody does a great job of backing up, except at the back. Ken Finner has gone charging into the back there of the Old Spice guest car. Well, everybody else, a brilliant job just backing off there. They're only supposed to go if the lights go green, and as they didn't, they all stopped.
Well, the false start wasn't what the Legends guys expected. Whether that's going to put extra pressure on the likes of Ian Sturt or indeed Rob Fountain here. Sturty, of course, has the 85-point advantage over Rob Fountain. But the other man in the equation is back here up the grid. We've got to go a long way back to Tick Stewart. The world champion in number 1 has it all to do from right at the back.
Here we go then, the Legends on their way round. Gary Koch and Stephen Traherne make up the front row, but Ian Sturty's there on the inside of row 2. This, the 3rd race of 4 here at Mallory. And away we go, it's a cracking start there by Stephen Traherne, and Rob Fountain goes colliding into the rear of Stephen Traherne. Traherne said he would keep out the way, and Ian Sturt finds the inside groove at Gerard's. The first turn, and he's down the inside. That is exactly what Ian Sturt wanted on the start. Oh, and running wide is Lee Fitzpatrick. He's found the agricultural bit. Well, hopefully he'll make his way back. Well, there he is, trying to get back on. So Lee will rejoin, but he's right down the back of the field. But at the front, Ian Sturt, what a dream start for him. Rob Fountain, 2nd place in this race. Then it comes Stephen Traherne with, on the outside of him in 60, John Higgins. Mark Lord's in there, and Tick Stewart's got a great start as well. He's thundered through. He's something like 6th place already. They'll come round to complete this, the first lap of the 8 that they'll do to complete this 3rd race of the final round of the Old Spice Legends Championship here at Mallory Park. And Tick Stewart to the inside of Mark Lord. Brilliant manoeuvre from the world champion down the inside of John Higgins too. He keeps himself well and truly out the way. And further back, good scrap going on. That's Lisa Morgan in the 44 car, tucked in behind Gary Koch. Martin Hart pressurising her at the back in the number 11 car. But it's this leading group with Ian Sturt into turn 3. Rob Fountain under pressure now from Tick Stewart. And those two, in fact, all of those 3. This is the leading 3 in the championship. We've got Rob Fountain gets a little bit squirrely there. Stephen Traherne gives them all the room, and he said he was going to do that, so fair play to him. But now we've got the 3 title aspirants, the 3 guys who've worked so hard over 60 races during the course of the 2000 season. And it all comes down to these final pair of, well, what are they going to be? Absolutely monumental battles, I suspect. Down onto the back straight they'll come. Ian Sturt has a 3-car advantage over Tick Stewart. Running wide there is Mark Lord. He just got the exit wrong of Gerard's, but he rejoins without any sorts of problems, replacing Gary Thomas in that car. And I'll tell you what, John Mickle's on the move as well. Already had some good results here, Mickle, in the opening 2 races, but Ian Sturt takes the wide line. Tick Stewart down the inside. No change in the order as they complete another lap. It's still Sturt, Stewart, and then Rob Fountain. And Rob Fountain closing in on Tick Stewart. Had a look down the inside there, but Stewart closes the door, and he goes to the inside of Sturt, but Sturty in turn closes the door on his teammate. Now, we refer to them as teammates, but I'll tell you what, when there's a championship up for grabs, you can forget all that teammate nonsense. They are very much racing for themselves. Down the inside goes Tick Stewart, side by side the 2 Old Spice boys, and down they'll come into turn 3, and Stewart will go through, and Rob Fountain tries to go with him. Brilliant stuff from Tick Stewart. He's already had one win. He wants another one here. He wants to take all three, to be quite frank. That's what he said to me earlier this morning. Well, whether he'll get them or not remains to be seen, because Ian Sturt now repressurises. Was there contact there from Ian Sturt as they came off turn 4 into Gerard's? The long, sweeping right-hander. If you're very, very brave and you've got big ones, you can go down the inside and keep it flat in 5th, but the back end will try to step out and try to swap ends with you. So whatever you want to do, you've got to keep it in a straight line. Watch them down that line. Look, Tick Stewart moves across there. Ian Sturt comes out of his slipstream. You can get drafting in these cars into turn 3. Stewart again down on the curb. Ian Sturt a little bit of a looser line, and Rob Fountain, oh, he's sideways there behind him. John Mickle and John Higgins are having a great scrap. So pressure from Ian Sturt on Tick Stewart. Unbelievable that it should come down to this, the penultimate race in the 2000 season, and we've got the top 3 championship contenders all fighting it out. Now remember, this is Ian Sturt's last race of the season. Tick and Rob both have another one to come, so really Ian Sturt desperately needs to win this one. There's 200 points for a win, 175 points for second place, and 155 points for third. So Ian Sturt really needs to try and put 25 points on Tick, and he needs a further 20 points on top of that, 45 in total, to put those on Rob Fountain. Across the line they go again. Another lap is completed. Ian Sturt needs to get to the right on the back bumper there, the number 1 car. He's close enough, but Tick is just so awesome here on the mile oval. I've got to tell you, can't express to you how fired up these 3 guys are. And here is John Mickle now. Is Mickle going to be a factor? He's managed to claw his way onto the rear bumper of Rob Fountain's car, and there's a mistake from Sturt. Does that allow Fountain to capitalise on the error? No, it doesn't. Look at them, absolutely linked together, and John Mickle tries to come round the outside. Oh, unbelievable stuff. Mickle round the outside of Fountain. Well, that will help Ian Sturt if he can now get through and win, but it's going to take points away from Rob Fountain. And all of the guys have recognised the fact that they have to be out there racing for their own points. There are other people there, John Mickle in particular, after his dreadful mechanical year. He's blown 8 engines this year, and that's really what's dented his championship. He will finish in 4th in the championship. He can't finish any higher or lower than that, but he wants to go out with a win, and so too does Ian Sturt. He pulls out of the slipstream. They go side by side into turn 3. Cracking stuff, and he's ahead. Sturty gets ahead, but has Tick Stewart got the inside line? Yes, he has. He'll hold on to that. Now, Sturty doesn't want to let Mickle come through on the inside of him. That would be the danger, and he's done just that. Across the line they'll come. Here's the checkered flag. Who gets it? Oh, we'll sort that one out. Certainly Tick Stewart gets the win, and look how delighted he is. But who got second and who got third? Well, let's get confirmation from the timekeepers. In fact, it's John Mickle who gets it by 0.04 of a second on the line over Ian Sturt. Rob Fountain finishes in 4th, with John Higgins in 5th and Stephen Traherne in 6th place.
That was tough, Steve, but you gave it everything there.
Oh yeah, it's the last race of the year for me. All those have got another race, but I'll give it everything we possibly could give it, and fair play to Tick. He got underneath me, but he wasn't quite quick enough out of the corner, so I had to give him a little nudge every now and then. But just drafting, but there's no way past.
What are you racing that hard for at the end of the year?
Just to, well, not to prove a point really, it's just I know we would have been up there if it weren't for mechanical failure all year. I can run it with them 3, not a problem at all. It was just fine for a bit of pride, I suppose, but we're up there doing our bit, making sure we know who gets the trophies at the end of the year, and plus it's good, a bit of fun.
I was definitely on form for that one. I mean, you know, the boys and that in the crew, they've been great trying to keep me calm, you know. It's just, it's one more to go though, Paul, that's my worrying bit, you know. The car feels good, you know, everything feels strong. I'm good. I come up behind Fountain, I thought, well, last roll of the dice here, mate, round the outside, it's the only move, and I drove round and I thought if he's going to take me, he's going to come with me this time. I ain't going to go on my own, and just sat there, and boy, baby, she went. I tell you, that come out of turn 2 and it was just on rails and gone, and I knew I'd catch Ian. Ian was defensive, you know, but I got by him, and then he obviously used his head.
Well, I'm not sure I can take too much more of this, to be honest. We've gone, I don't know, something like 67 races this year. One more to come, and that will be the championship decider. Will it be Tick Stewart or Rob Fountain? Join us after the break to find out. I'm going for a lie down. Welcome back to Mallory Park. It's the mile oval and the final round of the Old Spice Legends Championship. Well, sadly, whilst you've been away, we've had confirmation that Ian Sturt's championship quest is over.
Oh, it was a bit of a tall order before we came here. We were 70 or 85 points behind, but it's not over till the fat lady sings, as they say. So I think we've given it our best shot today. So, you know, what will be, will be. because it's only my second season in the Legends, my ambition as a driver this year was to finish in the top 3 in the championship and win a race at Brands Hatch. Well, I've achieved it as a driver. The team, without the team, I wouldn't be here. I've got to make that clear because they've been absolutely blinding. They've been 100% behind me. So, you know, I've achieved everything that I wanted to achieve.
That's what we said, isn't it? 106, isn't it? No, yeah, 120 ahead, yeah, 120 ahead. All right. Okay. That's enough to do.
So you've been in there looking at the points. What have you got to do?
It's 120 ahead I am, so I've got to score 80 or more, so I've got to score 90 if he wins. I've got to score 90, so that's about a 9th position, isn't it, really? But then I've got to watch his brother as well, so he's out in this race, and you know what, team twin, you know, anything could happen. Just want to get out there, really, and I'm going to go for it. 3 wins, let's go out in style, you know. Why not? I did it in America, why can't I do it here? No, I just want to finish and just, you know, it's so close, Paul, I tell you. This on the end of a fishing rod in a lake, I tell you. It's that close. I mean, I can't let it go now. If I let it go now, the boys will be disheartened. I mean, it's got to finish.
What's that, 120 points? If I get a 6 and Tick don't finish, probably, yeah, I'll probably clinch it then. But who knows? We've been saying there's only a few meetings to go, but yeah, there's only 1 race to go. Anything can happen.
If I had a DNF, he's got to have a 4th. Could it all be done? If we both fall off, Ian could win it.
No, if you both fall off, you win it.
Oh, do I?
I think so.
Oh, that's the result.
It's all a bit confusing, but we'll go and work it out.
Well, we have worked it out. Let's simplify it. If Tick does not finish, Rob must finish 4th. To equal Tick, 3rd or better makes Rob Fountain the champion. For Tick to retain his championship, all he needs to do is finish 9th or better if Rob wins. Now, Rob and Tick both starting this race well in the pack. There is the flag that gets them underway, and Pete Smith is the black car ahead of us. We're right on board with Rob Fountain. On the outside of us there is one of the Mickle Motorsport cars. That's Lisa Morgan starting off the front row, and Rob Fountain's got a cracking start. There's contact though from John Higgins. Ooh, that was very nearly a disaster for Rob Fountain, but he survived that one. Now he must do what he has to do, as Ken Finneran has a little bit of a spin coming out of turn 1. Well, I'm sure he'll recover from that, but down the backstretch they come. Now, where is Tick Stewart? Look for the blue and white car right in the middle of the pack there. He's back in 6th or 7th place, but Rob Fountain wants to lead this race, and he tries to go around the outside of Martin Hart, and he succeeds. He's now got to try and get to the inside of Pete Smith, who drives one of the widest Legends in the championship. Lee Fitzpatrick in the middle of it all as well, and everybody having, of course, their own race, and that's what makes it such a massive challenge for Tick Stewart to find his way through the middle of the grid. But he, I suspect, once he's got through to something like 7th or 8th place, if Rob leads as he does now, Rob Fountain leads. There is Tick Stewart in the number 1 car. He's back in, what's that, 6th or 7th place? And he really can just hang there if he wants, because if it finishes now, Tick Stewart will retain his championship. He will be the champion for the 3rd time, and nobody's done that before. But Rob Fountain will be looking in his mirrors. He's got his brother Chris out there. We heard Tick say that he was a bit concerned about Chris being out there, and he'll want to make sure he keeps out of the way, doesn't want to get boxed in. We saw what happened to Ian Sturt in the first race of this final round, but at the moment Rob Fountain's done everything he could possibly do, and I'll tell you what, who's on the scorch again? It's John Mickle. He's through to 3rd ahead of Tick Stewart. Tick Stewart up to 4th place, so a good shuffling there as they came over the hump out of turn 4 that time. Onto the backstretch they'll go. Running wide there is Simon Durrell, and Pete Smith in black 12 looks out, tries to go around the outside of Rob Fountain. All of these guys have said they're not going to gift anything to anybody, but what they are going to do is keep out of the championship fight, which is a perfectly sensible thing to do. The Fountain twins crowd go absolutely mad on the banking across the way from us, but look at this, Tick Stewart in 3rd place. Rob Fountain has in front of him exactly what he wants to see, a clear track. He's the race leader. Mickle Lowe trying to take that away from him. He'll go round the outside. Wheel-to-wheel combat in Legends is what it's all about, millimetre close, and Mickle trying to go around the outside. Well, he fails this time. Rob just keeping a smooth, tidy line down the inside, and that's exactly what he needs to do. But look at them back in the pack, switching back and forth. And Tick Stewart, is he going to try and go down the inside? Mickle gives up the inside line, preferring instead to go wide and round. It's not going to work. And Tick Stewart slows. Tick Stewart there slowed, I'm sure, coming out of the corner. And side by side they go in the lead again. But where is Tick Stewart? Back there somewhere. Stewart slows. Oh, desperate misfortune for the Legends champion of 1999. And that could be it. That could well hand the championship to Rob Fountain, and there, pulling into the pit lane, will be an absolutely devastating Tick Stewart. As they came off turn 4, Tick just seemed to slow. We'll try and get news for you from the pit lane in a moment, but meanwhile, all Rob Fountain has to do now, and he won't be aware of it because it's happened behind him. He won't know that Tick Stewart has pulled off and into the pit lane, and they've got the bonnet off on Tick Stewart's car in the pit lane, trying to get whatever the problem is sorted out. Well, absolute drama here in the final race, but let's not take anything away from Rob Fountain at the moment. Lee Fitzpatrick there in 24 has moved on through into third place behind his teammate and team patron John Mickle in the 4 car. Mickle said he wanted to win this one and go out on a high. Well, at the moment, Rob Fountain, you can see, occupying exactly the line he needs to do. He's on the back straight. Down he comes towards us. Mickle tries to go around the outside. I don't think he'll make that work. Behind, they're fighting it out. Rob Drysdale, incidentally, who's the other of the rookie contenders. Looks as though that title will go the way of Stephen Traherne. But we're into the closing stage. He's just 2 laps remaining. Tick Stewart has rejoined. Tick Stewart is back out. But remember, he needs to finish 9th if he is to have a chance at the title. That is, finish 9th if Rob wins. If Rob gets overtaken here by John Mickle, that will turn the thing upside down. And in fact, Tick could then finish in 11th place, and it would only take a couple of people to drop out. He's running round very, very slowly. You can't see him at the moment, but he is out there. He's running round slowly. And here comes John Mickle to try and go around the outside. No, he dummies to the inside. Oh, absolute unbelievable stuff here from the legends. Down to the final couple of laps. They'll come out of the corner. Rob Fountain will start his final lap of the championship year. 1 to go, it says on the board there up on the gantry. 1 lap, just 1 mile for Rob Fountain to go. And if he can hold on to that first place, then he will be the champion. John Mickle wants to win the race for himself and to cap off what's been a dreadful year for him. And Pete Morton now's come through into 3rd while I've been concentrating on what all the various propositions are. So a good move. There is Tick Stewart. See, he's still out there. He's still running, but at the moment he's outside the top 11, and that is no good for him. Here comes Rob Fountain this time. Meanwhile, side by side, Durrell and Morton's in there as well, and John Mickle's going to do it on the line, is he? John Mickle will get it on the line. He does. He takes it. And what does that mean for Tick Stewart? Well, let's get confirmation of the results. Rob Fountain thinks he's done enough, but it all depends on where Tick Stewart finishes. If he finishes worse than 11th, then that is it. Well, here is the confirmation. John Mickle takes the victory, but Rob Fountain takes 2nd, and with Tick finishing outside the top 11, that means that Rob Fountain, we think, has done it.
We think he might have done it by 35 points.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Yes. All that time and all that effort. When you put it into perspective, like, some of them been out probably 4 years, this end of my 2nd year. It ain't me, it's the team, and also my brother Chris. This was supposed to be the year where we got to the top, and then next year blitz everything, but, you know, it's just consistency. I mean, at the end of the day, Robin's had a few things put up in front of him, you know, a bit of this, bit of that, but at the end of the day, it's all been shoved off, and we're just going to have a massive party.
The highs of a championship win deservedly evident then for the twins, but at the other end of the emotional scale, Tick Stewart is understandably devastated.
Just a wire jumped off the bulkhead, like, you know, and just lost all the power, like, you know. Just can't believe it. It's one of those things, isn't it, you know. Yeah, I just got to where I was and I thought, well, that's it now, I'll back off now. I wanted to get away from his brother because his brother was driving erratically in the other race. I thought I'd just sit here, like, away from him and away from the others, and I'll just sit and pace my time, like, you know, but obviously never paid off. But, you know, I've been, you know, I can't believe it. I wouldn't mind if I chucked it off myself, or, you know, but it broke a half shaft as well, so.
Well, the final positions look like this. Rob Fountain is the champion by 35 points ahead of a devastated Tick Stewart. Ian Sturt's had a brilliant year and he finishes in 3rd place ahead of John Mickle 4th. Gary Thomas was 5th. Chris Fountain and Simon Durrell share the spoils of 6th place, while Darren Hills is 8th and Stephen Traherne takes the rookie title.
It's been a hard day because I've had to drive, you know, quite carefully, and it took us 50-odd races this year to be able to do it like that and race carefully, but it's been worth it in the end.
You've done it, mate.
You know, at the beginning of the year, you think, if I win it, I've got something to say. And your mind just goes blank.